We often find ourselves caught in the trap of worry, stressing over events that, in all likelihood, will never occur. It's as if we're playing out worst-case scenarios in our minds for days, months, or even years, letting precious moments slip away, all while we're tangled in the web of our own anxious thoughts. It's almost as though our minds are tuned to a station that endlessly plays a soundtrack of all our past mistakes and future fears. But imagine for a moment that some of the wisest individuals who ever lived figured out a way to change this constant loop. They discovered a path to break free, and that path can still lead us today to peace and clarity. We're about to dive into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that holds a treasure trove of wisdom to help us untangle ourselves from this mental chaos. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca weren't abstract philosophers. They were real people, facing the same daily pressures, responsibilities, and challenges we do. Yet, they learned how to navigate life's storms with peace and purpose. They understood that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. And that response, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, holds the power to our peace. This isn't about simply quoting ancient texts. It's about bringing their timeless wisdom into our everyday lives, transforming abstract ideas into actionable strategies that can help us live with more serenity, focus, and intention. Imagine breaking free from the constant worry loop and living with a clear mind, fully present in each moment. It's not only possible, but it's within your grasp. The first step toward this peace is learning to focus on the present moment. The Stoics believe that while the past is gone and the future is uncertain, the present is where we have power. Worry often traps us in the past or future, either replaying old regrets or fretting about what might happen. It's like we're stuck in a cycle, either reliving stories we can't change or trying to predict events that haven't even happened yet. Here's a powerful practice from the Stoics. Divide your day into small, manageable moments and truly live in each one. Whether you're eating, walking, or working, give it your full attention. When you're eating, savor every bite. When you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet. This isn't about meditation or mindfulness in the traditional sense. It's about being deliberate with your attention. The more we immerse ourselves in the present, the less room there is for worry to take hold. In fact, Marcus Aurelius himself said that many of our worries vanish when we truly embrace the present moment. By focusing our energy on what's happening now, we rob worry of its power. When we stop letting our minds wander into the what-ifs, we reclaim control. Now, let's get even more practical. If you're struggling with constant anxiety or overthinking, follow this simple, 3-step guide inspired by Stoic philosophy: clarity. The first step is to identify exactly what you're worried about. Is it a work project? A relationship? Financial troubles? Often, simply naming the problem weakens its grip on you. Seneca taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality, so by precisely defining our worries, we take the first step toward releasing their hold. Premeditation. The Stoics practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This means imagining the worst-case scenario and mentally preparing yourself for it. While it might sound pessimistic at first, this exercise empowers you. By visualizing the worst, you're preparing for it and realizing that, in most cases, even the worst outcome is something you can handle. Active solutions. Once you've considered the worst, ask yourself, what steps can I take to prevent this from happening? Or if it does happen, how can I handle it in a way that minimizes the impact? This is where the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control comes into play. Rather than being a victim of circumstances, you become the architect of your own solutions. These steps shift your mindset from passivity to active engagement. Instead of being consumed by worry, you turn those fears into actionable plans, transforming a daunting situation into a challenge you're ready to face. By taking control of your response, you diminish the power of worry, leaving you empowered to live more fully. Another vital Stoic practice for overcoming worry is self-reflection. Often, our fears are vague and unclear, which makes them all the more powerful. The Stoics encouraged direct confrontation with our thoughts. Marcus Aurelius regularly examined his own worries, seeking to understand their origins and nature. This method of self-inquiry is powerful. It helps you peel back the layers of anxiety to get to the root cause. Try this, write down your worries. When they're floating around in your head, they're amorphous and overwhelming. But once you put them on paper, they become something you can examine objectively. Ask yourself, why am I worried about this? What is the worst that could happen? How likely is that outcome? And what might be the underlying cause of this fear? Often, you'll discover that the root of your worry is something deeper, perhaps a fear of failure, rejection, or loss. By following these steps, you will gradually reclaim your mental space from worry. Instead of being controlled by fear and anxiety, you will begin to control your responses to life's challenges, enabling you to face whatever comes your way with calm, clarity, and confidence. Remember, worry is a natural human response, but it doesn't have to dominate your life. By applying the principles of Stoic philosophy, you can transform worry into opportunity, turning even the most anxious thoughts into stepping stones toward a more peaceful and purposeful life. So, are you ready to take charge of your worries and start living with intention? The power is already in your hands. Worry can often feel like an overwhelming barrier that holds us back from fully experiencing opportunities or happiness. But what if we could shift our perspective and use this feeling as a tool for growth and clarity? Understanding the root of our worries, why we feel anxious or uncertain, can be incredibly powerful. When we gain insight into the cause of our emotions, we unlock the first step in gaining control over them. This shift in mindset allows us to reframe our response, reducing the emotional grip that worry holds over us. The next step in this process is about rationalization and response. Once we've identified the cause of our anxiety, we can approach it with a more logical and practical mindset. This could mean altering a belief, taking action to change something in our lives, or simply accepting that there are certain aspects of the situation that are out of our control. By practicing this rational analysis, we're not just diffusing immediate concerns. This becomes a mental exercise that strengthens us over time. With each challenge we face, we get better at recognizing patterns of anxiety and dealing with them more efficiently. Think of it as a form of mental conditioning, where each experience helps us manage future worries with greater ease. Staying busy is another powerful way to minimize worry, but it's not about mindlessly filling our days with distractions. Instead, the key is to engage in activities that demand your full attention and enrich your life. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, emphasized the importance of wisely using our time. To them, time was a precious resource, one that shouldn't be wasted on trivial concerns. When we focus on tasks that are meaningful, whether it's work, a hobby, or social interaction, we naturally push aside unnecessary worrying. Engaging in fulfilling activities keeps us in a state of flow, where we're so absorbed in what we're doing that time seems to slip away. This is where the real power lies. The Stoic practice isn't just about staying busy for the sake of it. It's about consciously choosing how we spend our time, ensuring that our actions align with our values and contribute to personal growth. In doing so, we create a space where worries have less room to grow. When it comes to addressing our worries, the Stoic method often involves a simple but incredibly effective technique, asking, "What are the chances?" This question invites us to assess the probability of the scenarios we're anxious about actually coming true. More often than not, our minds create exaggerated fears that rarely align with reality. By taking a step back and considering actual data, we can ground our fears in rational thought. For instance, if you're worried about failing a test, ask yourself how many times you've actually failed similar exams. If it's about flying, a quick look at the statistics on air travel safety can put your fears in perspective. This method helps us separate what's possible from what's likely, and often, what we fear turns out to be far less probable than we think. Changing your attitude is another powerful Stoic strategy for reducing worry and moving toward happiness. The Stoics believe that our judgments, not events themselves, disturb us. By altering our perceptions and choosing to see the good in every situation, we can transform our emotional response. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges, but rather balancing them with an understanding of their potential for growth. Take a presentation at work, for example. Instead of focusing on the fear of failure, focus on the opportunities it presents for personal development and recognition. The Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate, encourages us to embrace whatever life brings, both good and bad, as essential and necessary. By actively choosing to say yes to life and the lessons it offers, we become more resilient in the face of adversity. Similarly, practicing gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a mindset that's more positive and open to growth. This shift in attitude doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about choosing to respond to life's difficulties with a mindset rooted in resilience, learning, and positivity. By doing so, we not only manage our worries more effectively, but also lay the foundation for a more fulfilling life. Criticism is another area where Stoic philosophy offers profound insight. Instead of viewing criticism as a personal attack, the Stoics encourage us to see it as a backhanded compliment, an indication that we're doing something significant enough to warrant attention. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, famously said that it's not what happens to us, but how we react to it that matters. So when criticism comes our way, it's an opportunity for growth, not a threat to our self-worth. To handle criticism like a Stoic, start by considering the source. If it comes from someone you respect, it may hold valuable insight. If it's from someone who regularly undermines others, it likely says more about them than about you. Look for the truth in the criticism, even if it feels uncomfortable. Humility and detachment will help you extract valuable lessons from hurtful words. Reflect on the intent behind the criticism. Was it meant to improve you, or was it an expression of the critic's own frustrations? By reframing criticism in this way, you not only reduce its sting, but also turn it into a tool for self-improvement. This shift in perception allows you to use criticism constructively, enhancing your growth rather than letting it diminish your confidence. Personal and professional growth is something we all strive for, but it's not always easy. The Stoic approach to this growth isn't about suppressing emotions or ignoring feedback. It's about developing resilience and gaining a clear sense of what you truly want to achieve. It's about using every piece of feedback, whether positive or negative, as a stepping stone towards becoming better, rather than letting it become a stumbling block. When we eliminate mental and emotional fatigue, we create space for a brighter, more sustainable future. One of the most pervasive challenges we face is the kind of fatigue that drains us, not from physical labor, but from the constant stress, worries, and emotional ups and downs of life. Dealing with this mental and emotional exhaustion is critical, not only for our immediate well-being, but for the long-term quality of our lives. The Stoics were deeply aware of the need to balance action and reflection, teaching us that our mental and emotional resources are finite. How we spend them determines our overall quality of life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often spoke of the importance of conserving our inner energy, urging us to engage only in what truly matters, activities that are aligned with our values and goals. So, how can we reduce this drain and replenish our inner reserves? It starts with simplifying our lives and becoming intentional about how we use our time and energy. Start by simplifying your commitments. Take a hard look at your responsibilities and ask yourself, are these things aligned with what truly matters to you? Are they bringing you fulfillment or just adding unnecessary complexity to your life? Sometimes saying no or delegating tasks can make a huge difference. Simplification doesn't mean doing less for the sake of doing less. It's about clearing space for what genuinely fulfills you. Practice mindfulness and presence. A lot of our emotional fatigue comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The Stoic practice of mindfulness helps us focus on the present moment, which conserves the energy we would otherwise waste on unproductive worry. By being present and engaging with the now, we can preserve our mental and emotional reserves. Set boundaries. It's vital to establish clear boundaries with others about how much time and energy you can give. This isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. Boundaries allow you to protect your energy and focus it on what truly matters. By recognizing your limits, you protect yourself from burnout and maintain a healthier, more balanced life. Make time for self-reflection. Regularly examining your thoughts and emotions allows you to identify stressors and address them before they become overwhelming. Stoicism teaches that awareness alone isn't enough. We must actively manage our inner world. Just as we take breaks to rest our bodies, we must take time to rest and recalibrate our minds. This proactive approach helps prevent mental fatigue from building up. Get adequate sleep. We often think of sleep as just a way to recover physically, but it's just as crucial for our mental and emotional health. The Stoics understood the importance of rest and living in harmony with nature. This includes the natural rhythms of wakefulness and sleep. Seneca referred to sleep as a restorative break for the soul, allowing us to heal from the stresses of the day. Without sufficient sleep, our minds and bodies struggle to function at their best. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about providing your body and mind the time they need for essential repair and rejuvenation. Mastering work and financial worries. These are some of the biggest sources of stress, but Stoic wisdom can help us navigate them with clarity. First, focus on your actions, not the outcomes. In your work, do your best every day, continue to learn and grow, and let the results unfold as they may. This mindset relieves the pressure of feeling like everything depends on a specific outcome or goal. When it comes to money, a Stoic approach involves creating a budget and sticking to it. Financial worries often stem from a sense of loss of control, but by planning your expenses carefully, you regain control and reduce anxiety. It's not just about cutting costs. It's about making informed decisions that align with your long-term financial goals. Building an emergency fund is also part of Stoic preparation. Life is unpredictable, and having a financial buffer can help you weather those inevitable surprises with peace of mind. Knowing you're prepared for the unexpected frees you from constant worry. Redefine your definition of success. Stoicism teaches us to find contentment not in external rewards like promotions or salaries, but in our actions and virtues. Reflecting on what truly defines success for you, whether it's professional growth, job satisfaction, or personal achievement, helps you detach from society's narrow views of success. By focusing on what you can control and aligning with your values, you cultivate a sense of fulfillment regardless of external outcomes. Incorporating Stoic wisdom into your approach to work, money, and life isn't about removing stress altogether. It's about reframing how you interact with those stresses. It's about focusing on what you can control, your actions, your responses, and your mindset. As the Stoics taught, the power to change your life doesn't lie in the events that happen to you, but in how you choose to react to them. So, embrace each day with courage. Prioritize what matters most, and let your actions speak to your values. If you found these ideas helpful, and you want to dive deeper into living a more balanced and fulfilling life, check out the suggested resources on the screen. Thank you for joining this journey of Stoic wisdom. Stay strong, stay wise, and continue to find joy in every step you take.